I was stupid enough in the previous episode to open my big stupid mouth and say if we get any more injuries, we are in serious trouble. And of course, in doing that, I forgot that my microphone was connected to the computer, and that's the same computer that runs this game, and that Sports Interactive are an evil, evil company that prey on the weaknesses of men, and that they would immediately turn around and injure 3 more of my players. So Jordan Ives torn his hamstring, or has a hamstring strain. He's going to be out for another 2 weeks yet. We keep in mind we have played further in this game. And twisted ankle for Jermaine Defoe, 3 to 5 weeks. He's 34 years old. He's not going to recover on these things well. Keenan Davis has been delayed in his injury recovery. The only highlights are that Callum Wilson, while still 3 to 6 weeks away, and Junior Stanislas, 9 days and 3 weeks, have returned to light training at least. But my God, we are absolutely screwed. So we have come back a little bit early. We don't have a game on today, but it does happen to be the last day of the transfer window, which I'm definitely going to take part in because we need to try and get rid of some players and also bring some in. But let's look at our results for while you've been away. We played 2 games. We got our first victory of the season in the League Cup against Yeovil. 2-1 win. We were pretty good in this game, to be honest. We bossed the majority of it, changed our structure just a little bit, and it seemed to help slightly. But still, just a 2-1 win. They pulled one back late on just to make it as nervy and interesting as possible. You might be thinking, you know what, Yeovil are probably a good championship side. They're, away from home. You'll get decent crowds around those games. They'll want to be there. They'll want to get that big scalp of a bigger team. I did rotate quite a bit. But no, Yeovil is a middle table League 2 side. So, yeah, really struggling. Alex Fisher there you saw with the goal. And then we played Stoke away from home, and similar to the last 2 games, we went a goal down inside the first 15 minutes. We actually gave away 2 penalties in this game. They missed another one, thankfully, but we were 3-1 down at half time without really returning any sort of response. Scott McTominay, as I mentioned, has been playing up front as an advanced forward because everyone has been injured, and he was great. Ashley Barnes pulled one back late on. I think probably over the first 4 games of the season, or really the entire month of August, when we've been absolutely shit and deservedly rock bottom, Ashley Barnes has been the only person that I think has covered himself in some sort of glory or form. So as a reward for that, we are actually going to play him in his defensive forward defender role. It is his preferred one. I'm going to use him like that moving forward. So still not getting away from that big man, little man combination. It's just not going to be a definitive target man playing. But the reason that we're here today is it is 6 a.m. on the last day of the transfer window. Get rid of all these players, though I do love that Tommy Rogic has come up there. I would sign him if I could. Now, while yes, we have had issues with our defence in this game, I think the bigger issue is that we still don't have that left-sided balance. Anyone that we put out on this left wing has really... So that remains a focus and what we're looking for today. We have gone in for Nathan Redmond a whole bunch of times. We just don't have enough in the transfer budget to work an amicable agreement with Southampton. Jack Grealish is still injured. He's still out for another 4 to 8 weeks. I don't know if that means he would fail his medical if he came in. And the other one I want to look at is Ryan Sessegnon, who is really just a potential player. He signed a contract at the start of pre-season that's relatively long, so I'm not sure if he's going to come either. But what we'll do first is we'll go into our under-23s here, and these guys that are all currently on the transfer list are going to be offered out to clubs again to try and get rid of them. So for transfer, we just need to get rid of these guys. We just have to get that wage budget back, get that little bit of a transfer fee back, and hopefully that's the little nudge we can get to bring in 2 or 3 of these other players that are potentially available. The first one that we'll look at is Sessegnon. We'll see if we can get him in. He may still turn around and say, hey, I've just signed a new contract, I'm not interested, but we can get him for $5 million as an initial fee, $20 million over the course of 3 instalments, and 50% of the next sale. Fulham have accepted that offer, which is fantastic. I probably could have driven him down to 15 if I'd tried, but I'm running out of time and I need to make another signing because our depth is absolutely shot. CSKA have come in offering nothing for Josh King, which is good. So have Dynamo and Locomotive. Yes, no, we're going to reject that one because they want us to pay his wage. We can't afford that. We can't afford that. So it looks like CSKA will be getting him because they don't want us to pay any of his wage. We still owe them 1.1 million, which is rough as guts. Sessegnon doesn't want to come, so we'll exit talks with him. We'll try our next one that we can go after, which is Jack Grealish. He's currently injured. We might not be able to get him. Only $3 million up front for him, £15 million. Suggest they've negotiated it. Of course, they've fucking negotiated it because it would be too simple for them to just do the simple things that we want. So we're going to go 3 and maybe 12. Let's see if that works. So 15 million all up. They've offered 5.5 and 9.5 non-negotiable. That's fine. I can still try and work that into transfer budget as long as he doesn't want stupid money in terms of signing on bonuses and things like that. Okay, Grealish's offer has been accepted, so we can bump this up to 50. Drop this down to 750. So that's an even million, which we can still work into. It'll be a relegation release clause of 10 million. We're not getting relegated. If we get, I'll get sacked before I get relegated. Let's call a spade a spade. 10k a week as an appearance fee and as a goal bonus, and we'll give a little nudge up there to his unused substitute fee. I realise the irony of opening up this video and saying, hey, I can't have any more players get injured, and then I'm looking to sign one on the last day of the preseason, but I need that left-sided player. And he has enough potential that he's going to be worth it long run, even if we get him in just for 2 or 3 seasons while we look to move on to that next tier. Okay, so that one's gone through. King's gone to CSK, which is great. That frees up a ton of wage that previously would have been paying for him, so that's good. That'll help our budgets. Is there anybody else in the under 23s that anybody's even looking at remotely? No, so I'm going to offer him out again. Transfer, offer to clubs. Yep, get rid of him. We got to get rid of him. And it's a shame too, because there's a lot of really decent star attributes there, but it is what it is. Jack Grealish is going to be signing on, so good. We got a relatively quick resolution there. Grealish set to sign. We'll accept that one. We'll go through. He may still get rejected on the medical. We just have to wait and see. Bournemouth signed Grealish. Fantastic. Okay, I feel a little bit better now. We've brought Jack Grealish on board. He's going to play as that left-sided winger. We have pushed that in the tactic to be an attacking status as well, similar to what we're doing with Jordan Ibe on the right. Okay, I'm a bit more relaxed now. I'm in a more positive frame of mind. I've got to focus on the positives here. I haven't been sacked yet. The board, while disappointed about the result against Burnley, I'm not in danger. I'm not in an unstable position. And we made our like target on the last video. 1 like. It was me. So what we'll do is we're going to jump ahead to the Newcastle game at home. And we'll come in and bring you guys back in for that. I'll make a couple of tweaks, and hopefully some of these people that are on light training slowly start getting back towards full training, and we actually have a squad to pick from for all that game. So, magic of editing. See you guys again in 1 second. Right, and just like that, welcome back. We are now in the future, 9th September 2017. It's not, it's the past, but you know what I mean. In-game future. Quick one, just on our fitness test. Callum Wilson's failed. He's not ready to be selected yet, though. It's good that he's back in light training. Same with Junior Stanislas, so we'll leave them out of the squad entirely. Jordan Ibe is probably capable, maybe off the bench. Keenan Davis as well has made his return, but I don't want to push them too hard because I don't want to lose them again straight away. So probably just bench rolls for those two, and for everybody else should be good to select from. The only other thing I've done during the past week is put in our tutoring for the rest of the season, so that some of the younger players that we have that are coming through will be able to be tutored. The two that we can't do, Keenan Davis and Scott McTominay, Jordan Ibe and Jack Grealish, already kind of senior men in the squad, and would be our starting wingers if everybody was fit and ready to go. So one, it gives a bit of a boost to the older players that are going to be their mentors in this structure, and hopefully some of the mental attributes will move on to those players and they'll improve a little bit as well. So, magic of editing again. I'm just going to throw the team together real quick. Right, so of course we're going to go with Butland in goal. Daniels, Gibson, Cook and Francis will come back in. Adam Smith had a shocker in the last game. We just seem to be having real difficulty on that right-hand side. I'm not going to risk Jordan Ibe for this game. He will come off the bench, but I'm going to try and put Keenan Davis out there from the start. Pugh will be on the right wing, and Jolie will be on the left wing. Box-to-box midfielder will be Lewis Cook, Andrew Sermon. I really want them to start building their understanding, though in reality, Lewis Cook's performances over the first month, he's probably got Dan Gosling breathing down his neck pretty hard at the moment. Probably in the next game, which is also a home game, but against better opposition, we might look at bringing Gosling in as a bit of experience. Ben Gibson is not acclimatising well to Premier League football or Bournemouth itself, but at least he and Cook are starting to develop a bit of an understanding. Keenan Davis obviously isn't. We'd prefer to play him as an advanced forward. He can't really do it, so I'll put him in as a target man to support just to make him a bit more comfortable, and hopefully the wingers offer a bit more attacking on either side to get good delivery into he and to Barnes in his new defensive forward role. But we need to start getting some results. The other thing I've done is taken off the retain possession instruction, which was the only instruction we previously had. If we have to be a bit more direct, we have to be a bit more direct. What we need to do is pick up some points and get out of the relegation places. I know I spoke to the team and the group and said mid-table, but I spoke to the board and said that we would finish in the top half. So we really need to start picking up some points just to give ourselves a bit of a breather and a bit of a gap before we start getting into that really hectic Christmas period. So calmly, at home, it's time to end this poor run of form, get out there and make it count. No one's responded particularly positively, but I'm not going to worry about it. Steve Cook makes his 225th league appearance for the club today. Congratulations to him, and we are going to try and attack. Even though we're still in that standard ability, we have a lot of players still set to attack or supporting mentalities, so fingers crossed we can get out there and get the result today against a Newcastle side that haven't started the season that strongly. They are currently down towards the bottom with us. Butland with the ball now, plays it forward. I also took off Jack Butland's individual instructions, which were to previously play it short to his fullbacks and distribute quickly. He can do whatever he wants, just until we start getting something together, and we might make maybe 2 or 3 more games forward before we start adding team instructions to the actual lineup. Slimani with a header over. These deep balls from wide areas are what's absolutely killing us. It might be because the wingers are on attack. Maybe I need to push them back to being supporting so that they do a bit more defensive doggy work. But you'd think with attacking we'd have a greater danger on the counter than we currently do. But that hasn't worked out the way you'd think either. Right, opening 10 minutes. I think it's the first league game this season we've gotten outside of the opening 10 minutes. Oh no, hang on. I don't want to jinx it. I'll just wait for it. 1 more minute. Here we go. Come on. We've gotten out of 15 minutes. I think all previous games we'd had in the league, we had conceded in the first 15, be it through like a penalty or something stupid like that. But we've survived. We've gotten out there. That's progress. We're slowly building, slowly getting up there. Looking around the league, it looks like Burnley dropped off a little bit since going top after 2 games in. They've lost their 2 games since and find themselves just in the Europa League spots. Crystal Palace and Tottenham are leading the way early doors with victories in their first few games. Nearly towards half-time now. It looks like Andre has been injured. That is a fantastic name. I've never heard of him as a player, though. We have been fairly rubbish. 1 shot, none on target, 6 fouls, 0 yellow cards, 39% possession. To an away side, that's not that great. We might come out and attack a bit more in the second half and see how we go from there, because we need to start getting some goals. Jolie seems to be handling stuff well. He's got, I think, 1 goal and 2 assists in his first 3 appearances. He's absolute garbage, so it's a miracle that he's been able to do anything at all. Let's calmly say we've been the better team here. Let's keep doing what we're doing. And let's say to the defence, just calmly, you weren't that bad, but you can still improve. No, Steve Cook is still switched off. There's no getting to that guy. Once you lose those couple of team leaders, like Steve Cook, Steve Francis, whoever else, it's so hard to get them back. Let's go to an attacking shape here and push Davis on as the advanced forward. He hasn't done that much as the target man himself, so there's no real use keeping him in that role. All right, let's see how we start. We are either going to go out here under the attacking instruction and immediately concede. We've copped up the ball in halfway. That's terrifying. Or we will subsequently start to move forward a little bit more, or better than we did in the first half anyway. It's Newcastle with possession now. They're just knocking the ball around in half areas, but they've got an overload here on the right-hand side. Hopefully they don't notice it. Francis wins the ball back now. Looks for Barnes early. Can he release Davis? It's a good ball across. Turn out. You got more. Gibson with the ball now. Plays it forward to Jolly. Cooks in the box. Can he hang a ball up? Finds Barnes, and Barnes with a powerful header gets that one in. That's a great assist from Lewis Cook. Credit to him. On his wrong foot too. I don't think he's a lefty. Pushes us up to 19th position. So if we can hold on to 3 points, we will get all the chocolates today. 3 points, our first one of the season, and a good home victory as well, moving into that next game against Liverpool. But we need to hold on. I need to not get ahead of myself. I'll give it maybe another 10 minutes. Get to the hour mark before we look at any substitutes here. But again, it's Ashley Barnes. Ashley Barnes is dragging us through this early season. with all these players out. And if he ends up being the match winner today, I have gotten away with an absolute steal, stealing him away from Burnley. Not that they're going to care, they're in the Europa League positions. Lewis Cook with the ball now, plays it forward to Davis. Davis is surely offside, and yes, I believe that one's going to get brought back. He was miles off, but I wonder if he had left it for Jolly there. The end is now silent, and it's Jolly, because that's just the only way I can think to say it. All right, hour gone. Barnes has picked up a knock, for fuck's sake. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to switch Pugh to the left wing here. We're going to bring on Jordan Ibe for 30 minutes, because that's all I can really think to do. Scott McTominay can come on up front as the advanced forward. It's not his ideal role, but he actually scored there against Yeovil in the League Cup, so we'll give him some time. And I'm just going to hold on to the other one because I know both Ibe and Barnes seem to have picked up knocks. What is going on with our injury history? Who are our physios? Who's doing our warm-ups? Oh shit, is it me? Am I set to do our fitness? Okay, I'll have to check that. Alright, Man United struggling at the start of the season. Man City, we saw lost to Burnley on the opening day, but have brought it straight back in. Both teams are only threatening from long range. I can handle that, to be honest with you. I'm so tempted to go defensive, but I feel like there's just something in this game that if you go to defensive when carrying a lead, you'll throw away a stupid goal. And they haven't done anything of note. None of their players are over a 7. We're not in any danger, so why change things? I don't want to be that tinker guy. We're on track for our first clean sheet. We've got the ball here in our own half. Ball to Sermon, finds Francis. Jordan's here, he gets a ball in, comes back out to Sermon again, who has a man on the far side if he can find him. Cook now plays in Pugh, and Pugh with the finish. Fucking get in. Straight across the keeper. Should put the result beyond doubt. That's a 2-goal margin now. We desperately need to hold on here. See Jordan now. Hadira tries to get it away. Sermon comes back inside to Cook. And Cook with a lovely weighted passing behind there. That's excellent. I wonder... So Cook's actually getting tooted by Sermon, because Sermon's quite good technically, but not as good physically, playing in that deep lying role. I wonder if some of the technical ability that Cook has will start improving as he's getting tooted. Francis now with the throw, finds Sermon again. Jordan cuts the ball across, and McTominay, playing as an advanced forward, he's traditionally a midfielder, or his preference is to be a midfielder, and he has smashed that one into the roof of the net, and it's 3-0, just like that. Fantastic. Throw-in routine here. I haven't got any throw-in or routine set up. That's good. Jordan Ibe, classical winger, gets a ball into the box. Good poacher's finish. Oh, they've gotten a ball down here, and Yedlin thankfully puts it straight at Butland. Would have ruined our clean sheet. Here's Gibson now, looks for Pugh out wide, who has looked a different player since he moved out to this left. He's probably noted that we've actually signed Jack Grealish to play on that left wing role on the last day of the transfer window. So hopefully we can get some improved performances out of him. Francis finds Jordan. Have we got time here for more highlights? It's a good crossfield ball. Pugh's got it again. Can he find the cutback? Jordan back stick, brings it down for Barnes, and Barnes on the volley. Jordan Ibe, since coming off the bench, I think that's his second, if not third, assist. So fantastic little cameo for him. If he can find some form, we might be in good stead. And good to see Pugh getting involved as well. It's a good backstick run from Ibe. Hangs it up here, and then he has the wherewithal not to aim for goal, but to knock it back down for Barnes. He's playing the big man in that big man, little man combination, but look, good to see Ashley Barnes shaking off his injury as well and celebrating his goal wholeheartedly. So this is a much more improved performance. I'm not sure why we couldn't have done something like this against Burnley. The structures remain relatively the same. Maybe just having them on retained possession in a flat 4-4-2 is very tough because of those flat lines in defence and midfield. If you get caught in midfield areas with the ball, it can be very difficult. So surely now, Elliott with the ball in his grasp, he's going to launch it forward. And that will be that. Come on, blow the whistle, ref. Pugh with the long ball forward. Slimani's moving in behind. And thankfully, the referee calls full time. It's a golf clap for everybody. I'd clap really loudly, but I don't want it to ruin the audio on the microphone. So just a gentle golf clap. 9 shots, 10 for them. 6 on target for us, 2. 11 and 8 foul count. They had 1 yellow card. 45% possession for us, 55 for them. I don't really give a shit about that. What I care about is the 4-0 victory. And after that 81st minute, we scored 3 goals. Mark Pugh, Scott McTominay, and Ashley Barnes. All right, I've got the press conference here. That result sees us shoot right up the table. Yes, it's good. We needed to get some goals back as well. After that 6-1 and 3-1 defeats to start the season, getting another 4 today could be really important towards the end of the season. Somehow Pugh, with 1 goal and no assists, gets man of the match. Superb in the number of chances that he created. So he's responded well to that. He was actually one of the people that was wanted throughout the course of pre-season.
even though we couldn't get rid of all those guys in the under-23s that we have for sale that aren't English, Francis, Pugh and Cook had teams after them throughout pretty much the entirety of pre-season, even though they weren't for sale. Nobody ever actually bid anything. I think they were just trying to rile them up. But obviously now the window's closed, so they're all staying until January at the very least. All right, let's skip ahead a little bit now. We have a game against Liverpool in 7 days, again at home for that double homestand that we want to broadcast here today. So I'm going to jump ahead to that game, and fingers crossed some of the guys that we have carrying knocks at the minute come good and are ready to go and up for selection in that match. So, magic of editing. See you guys again in 1 second. All right, and as we seem to be starting all of our games, it's on this screen here having a look at how fit everybody is. Ashley Barnes, thankfully, is capable after picking up a bruised knee last game. Keenan Davis, 75 minutes. Junior Stanislas is actually worth 45 now. Jermaine Defoe, still no good. Callum Wilson, still no good. Jack Grealish, still no good. But, for the first time ever, we now have nobody out unable to train. So even the guys that are carrying injuries are at least back doing light training. So we're nearly there. We're nearly through this horrible patch of really shitty injury luck. But we have to focus on Liverpool today. We were fantastic in the second half under this attacking structure, being a bit more flexible, going attack, having the wide players push on a little bit further, and of course the advance forward drawing the line. We have got Liverpool, who are significantly better than Newcastle, but I'm going to go for it. I think, fuck it, why not? We're currently 19th. We're in the relegation places. Let's at least go after it a little bit. I'm going to throw the team together now, and you can let me know what you think in the comment section. So we're going to go with Butland in goal. He will be the first name on the team sheet pretty much every week. Daniels, Gibson, Cook and Francis, much more improved in the second half, in the last game from all of them. Cook and Sermon will continue building as our central midfield partnership. Pugh on the left after getting player of the match or man of the match in the last game. Jordan Ibe will come on the right-hand side. Jordan Ibe will come into the team on the right-hand side. He was fantastic coming off the bench, 2 assists, so fingers crossed he's about to hit a reach vein of form. Ashley Barnes, who's been our player of the season thus far, leading the way with 4 goals. And young Keenan Davis, on loan from Aston Villa, will play as the advance forward from the off because he did absolutely fuck all as the target man support last time. And come on, we just need just something encouraging. I'd take a draw even if it's an encouraging draw. They are playing a 4-2-3-1. It's always really hard to replicate Klopp's systems in Football Manager. Robertson and Weiss are both as complete wing-backs, it looks like, just judging by their spacing with the 2 central defenders, Matip and Van Dijk here. They've gone with Mignolet in goal, Milner and Henderson holding midfield, Mane and Salah, obviously lethal on the wings. Wijnaldum will play in the hole, and it's Solanke up front. Danny Ings is on the bench. We actually went in for Danny Ings during the course of pre-season. It looks like he's worked his way back into their side somewhat. It was a similar situation to Andy Carroll. We would have had to have pretty much bankrupted the club and not been able to get in the other winger, which ended up being Jack Grealish, and we also would have been paying him like upwards of £100,000 a week. Assertively, I want you to pick up where we left off last time out. Everyone has responded really well to that, so that's good. Fingers crossed now, we don't go out there and get absolutely slaughtered by Liverpool when they start playing their gig and press. And, oh, good press. Andrew Robertson, clearly under pressure, puts it straight out for a throw. And there's always that concern that when the kickoff happens that you're going to concede immediately, and thankfully we haven't done that this time. We have been conceding goals early in games, so I need to keep my mouth shut until we get to the 15th minute, and then I can be as arrogant as I like. And we're nearly there too. We're rocketing through this first portion here. Pretty much even split. There's ball forward now. Mane's picked it up just on halfway. He has got space to move into. He's played a ball forward to Solanke, and thankfully, I feel like Roberto Firmino would have made a better decision there, but he must be injured. Interesting that they picked up Mitchell Weiser as well from Hertha Berlin. He's a really good complete wing-back if you've played with him or looked at him in the game. Instead, and now I guess that means that they drop Trent Alexander-Arnold, who has really good potential in the game, to the bench, which is an interesting move on their part. He's picked up a yellow, so there you go. Maybe if I keep talking about him, he'll pick up another yellow, or he'll get an injury, or, I don't know, just a casual ACL tear or something like that. Steve Cook plays the ball forward to Sermon now. You can see the press come immediately. Wijnaldum was just flying forward. Davis doesn't even challenge for that ball, which is very frustrating. Sermon cuts it out, or Sermon. Davis with the ball now. Just needs to find feet. Just needs to find feet. We can't lose the ball in halfway like that. This is some good play here. Pugh's coming forward. Finds Davis. Can he get a ball inside? Finds Barnes. Get in. Oh, everything negative I was saying about Davis was incorrect. He was doing that to prove me wrong. That is fantastic play down that left-hand side. We look at the way we kind of just... Hang on, can I pause the ball there? All right, look at the way we just sort of tricked this core. It's cool to see, actually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 high-pressing Liverpool players into coming to the ball, and then it's just overlapping runs from there. Just going to go back. No, it's not. I ruined it. I broke the game. I'm so sorry, everybody. I ruined the replay. But we're a goal to the good, and of course, it's that superstar man, Ashley Barnes, who is dragging us through these games early on in the season. And we take a 1-0 lead. I'm in two minds now. So if we get through this next 10 minutes and take a 1-0 lead into half-time, do we move to a defensive structure as Liverpool start coming at us a bit more? Or hang on, there might be another goal here. Look, Lewis Cook's picked it up. Can he find Jordan Ibe again? Don't lose the ball here, Lewis. Goes back to Daniels. Daniels with long ball forward. Davis challenges. Gibson comes forward to Sermon. Cook again. Finds Barnes. Finds Jordan Ibe. Jordan Ibe. Oh, he's gotten another one. And it's a goal against his former club as well. Virgil van Dijk with an own goal. Okay, I need to see this again in 3 dimensions. Fingers crossed for you guys. It hasn't dropped frames or anything. Davis goes up for the header. Gibson plays it forward to Sermon. Sermon to Cook. Cook to Barnes. Barnes with a lovely little reverse pass. Jordan Ibe shoots. And I think Andrew Robinson has actually cleared the ball into Virgil, which sucks for one person in particular, and that's Jordan Ibe, who I'm sure would have loved a goal against his former side. But 2 goals to the good in the second half would be really good a really good lead to defend. But as they say in football, 2-0 is often the hardest lead to defend because you think you have that 1 goal margin. Back to Butland here, ball forward to Barnes. Davis now. Can he find the overlapping run? He's found Barnes. Oh, lets it run to Ibe, hangs the ball up. And Davis, from a dead angle, gets his first goal for the club. And I think his first goal in senior football. No, he must have scored before and after an injury layoff. Jordan Ibe, great ball across. And I really didn't think Davis had any right to be shooting in this position. But thankfully, look at this. There's no angle to speak of. He just gets it on target. And Mignolet is obviously a coward. Doesn't get his face in the way of that one. And we're 3 goals up at home to Liverpool. What a performance. Who would have picked this after losing 6-1 at home to Burnley on the second game of the season? A 3-1 away to United. I guess that answers my question, though, that I really shouldn't try and change anything. Assertively, very happy with the way things are going. Why complicate things? I might be overusing assertively at the moment as well. I should probably stick to calm and passionate when we're at home. Francis, Sermon, some nice little interplay here. For a team that doesn't have any instruction set, we are doing some decent things. What's our Google assist at? Is that deliberate or should it say assistant? I think it should say assistant. Oh well, whatever. Weiser now overlapping. He's hung the ball up. Gets it back down. Salah finally gets a strike at goal. It's the first real highlight for Liverpool that wasn't a long distance shot. So they've obviously come out a little bit differently in the second half. Some of their players here. Andrew Robertson 5.9. 6.1 for Ronaldo. The high press, gegenpressing is not working today. Down at Dean Court, it's a good header away from Gibson. Henderson comes out now. Just don't do anything silly, boys. Ronaldo, not having a great game, just exchanging passes, and Butland comes out well, claims strongly. We're nearly at the hour mark. I'll look at making some subs. I'm reluctant to change the instructions that we have set. Davis now finds Barnes. Can he release Cook through? Pugh out wide. There's a man back stick if he can find him. It's Ibe. It brings it down. Oh, and Jordan Ibe gets the goal that his play deserves. I think it was Barnes in the end. I'm not sure if he actually brought the ball down or if he was tackled and it fell to Jordan. Jordan, not Jordan. Lewis Cook with a great overlapping run here as a box-to-box midfielder. Pugh just holds his run a little bit longer. Hangs the ball up. Ibe knocks it down for Barnes. It gets tackled and thankfully Ibe is there to poke that one home. We're 4-0 up at home. This could be back-to-back 4-0 victories at home, and I don't think anybody, after watching the first video, would have said we were going to turn around in the next game and turn it on a little bit. So, fantastic result for us. Is it enough to see us get out of the relegation places? Let's just look at the league table here. It would take us all the way up to 12th, and it would get our goal difference back to 0, which is phenomenal. 2 wins and 2 4-goal margins, and we are pretty much back to even. after those really disappointing results in the opening month of the season. I really wish I could get that game against Stoke back as well, because that really should be important for the rest of the year. They've got some good play here. Lewis Cook's won the ball back. Pugh has Daniels out left. Plays forward to Davis, who's had a pretty good game, to be fair to him. Not favoured in the advanced forward role, but with Defoe and Wilson both out, at least for a couple more games, we might give him an extended run in the side and see how he does. He's only set to rotation, so he should be alright. Mane with the strike, and Butland gets well behind it. I keep talking about how good Ashley Barnes has been in the early part of the season. Jack Butland has also been fantastic, even though we've been getting pummeled. If we didn't have him, I think it would have been a lot worse. Oh, why do I open my mouth sometimes? Ashley Barnes has picked up a knock. Alright, how are we going to work this? We don't really have anybody that can do that role, so we might move Keenan Davis to play in his preferred position of target man and support. We'll take Barnes off from the advanced playmaker role, and we'll put McTominay up there just because he's the only person that can really do it. God damn. Alright, how's Junior Stanislas' return going? Let's put him on at left wing because we need to try and get him some sort of fitness. And everybody else looks relatively okay. So I'll keep the other sub up my sleeve for the time being, and I'm going to calmly say no pressure on either of them. We're 4-0 up at home. I just really want to keep a clean sheet. I'm so tempted to go back to standard or back to defensive or something like that. But we're 4-0 up, so why change it? And Andrew Robertson is having the worst game of his career. Oh, he's just gone back up to a 5, but he was on a 4.9 there for a minute. They haven't got a player over a 6.8, and it's Danny Ings who only came on late in the game. We've got a corner here. Stanislas whips it in. It's going to come back out to Cook. Can he find Stanislas again? He does. Can he hang it up? Jordan Ibe. He should have a hat-trick, but he was wrongly robbed of a goal. Wrongly robbed. He had nothing to do with it. Robertson cleared it into Virgil van Dijk. But his second one for the game, he is absolutely tormenting his former employers here. Isn't that what it says in the press conference? It's in the script, isn't it? Former players always give you a difficult time. Stanislas hangs a good ball up there. Nice to see a contribution from him on his return from injury. And Jordan Ibe really progressing very nicely. Okay, last couple of minutes now. 3 remaining. Come on, let's just get through this extra time. Come on, blow the whistle, ref. No need. Only been a couple of yellows, only a couple of injuries. Oh, they're down to 10 men, so they're definitely not doing anything. Davis picks up a yellow card late. Just need that highlight that shows the whistle blowing. Weiser now with the throw-in finds Henderson. They get a ball in. It's cleared, and the match ends with the ball at Jordan Ibe's feet. He was absolutely fantastic today. 10 shots to 13 to Liverpool. They didn't have that many clear-cut chances or highlights. Butland made a couple of saves, but nothing of note. 7 and 7 shots on target, 14 fouls to 7, 2 yellow cards to 1, 47% possession to 53. But a 5-0 win at home to Liverpool. Passionate. Very happy with the result and the way you played. That is a phenomenal performance from everybody involved. I'm going to be honest with you guys, it is much better doing an episode like this where we beat the living shit out of teams than it is having to put up with 3-1 defeats or 6-1 defeats or whatever else. Oh, Ashley Barnes out for 5 weeks. I'm sorry for headbutting the microphone. I forgot you guys can all hear that. I'm going to give him an injection, but I shouldn't have. That was stupid. Calmly. Don't worry about your injury. I know these things can be frustrating. Assertively, you lost to the team. My injury and recovery comes first. Just give me time and space. Why are you upset, Ashley? We're such good friends. You've been performing so well in my team. Andrew Robertson, it's never good seeing someone struggle like that. Better than first feared. He's a top-class player. Jurgen's a great manager and better person. I consider him a friend. I don't really give a shit about what Jurgen Klopp thinks. Jordan Ibe, though, absolutely phenomenal. Bournemouth find inspiration in Ibe. 2 goals, 1 assist, and 9.5 rating against his former team. Passionate. He was superb in front of goal last time, and he really appreciates it. Perfect morale for him. Hopefully he can drag a couple of his teammates up as well that might be struggling, like Ashley Barnes, because I just fucked that last team talk. But what a result. 5-0 at home to Liverpool and a 4-0 win against Newcastle as well. Just like that, we turn our season around. That's absolutely fantastic. So competition-wise, it moves us up to 11th spot in the table. We do go to a positive 1 goal difference, which we desperately needed after getting absolutely belted in the early part of the season. And somehow, we're only 4 points off top spot. And who would have thought of that for a team who's only won 2 and 5? All right, let's have a look at our schedule moving forward and see when we might come back for the next game. I'll probably put a bit more of a gap in for the games in October. Who do we have coming up that might be an interesting game? I'm thinking maybe Tottenham and Southampton, maybe. We'll do 3 games, including the League Cup game off screen. Come back for another double stint at home. Do Tottenham and Southampton. You don't really need to see us away. It's usually a bit more boring. Tottenham are already travelling pretty well on top of the league at this point in the season, so that might be a really exciting game. And Southampton obviously going to be a really important game for us to get 3 points and start getting back on track. But what a result, and really great to see some people coming back from injury. Obviously, Ashley Barnes is a disappointment, but we're starting to make good on some of our promise. We're starting to get into our systems, into our rhythms. And if we continue playing like that, we're going to absolutely tear teams apart in the second half of this series. As always, though, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate the likes. If you've enjoyed the video, feel free to subscribe to the channel just to be kept up to date as to when new videos come out. Or alternatively, if you want, you can follow In The Mixer FM on Twitter. There will be a link in the description below. I've been Sean. This has been a joy, and I'll see you in the mixer.